Sripada Sharanam Prapadhye. Chapter 26. The story of Sri Kanyaka Parameswari's birth. In the morning, we reached Kurungadda to have darshan of Sripada Srivallabha. Sri Dharmagupta had an intense desire to know from Sripada the particulars pertaining to the advent of the Kali Yuga. On that day, Sripada had a very placid countenance that was like a beautiful blossom, with his ambrosial looks showering nectar of compassion. He granted us the great fortune of touching his divine lotus feet. Sri Dharmagupta prayed to Sripada to tell us about the genesis of the Kali Yuga. For that, Sri Charan said, "My children, time is the cosmic form of the Supreme Self. The sun is also called the soul of time. The time taken by the sun to start from the star Dhanishta and go round the star Shravana once and get back to Dhanishta is termed as Brahmakalpa. One half of Brahmakalpa is Srustikalpa, and the remaining portion is reckoned as Pralayakalpa. Ordinary people experience similar phenomenon as the day and night. One half of the time relating to the males is Shukla Paksha, and the other half is Krishna Paksha. Uttarayana is for 6 months of the year and Dakshinayana is for 6 months of the year. A yogi visualizes the wheel of time in his own body. This esoteric knowledge is called Tarakaraja Yoga Vidya. The knowledge of time cannot be known by those who do not know Tarakaraja Yoga. In Tarakaraja Yoga, the body is construed as Brahmanda, the universe. All the worlds are in it. The point of thought in our head is termed as the world of Brahma. The world of Vishnu is in the navel. The world of Rudra, Shiva, is in our heart. The males lie in our sperm as deities of reproduction. These reproductive deities transmit the consequences of the actions of the past generations of mankind to the succeeding generations and make them experience those results. Therefore, time is very essential to bestow in an orderly way results from the actions from the previous births. Symptoms of the end of Kali Yuga. The manes of the departed ones are not the dead elders. They are reproductive deities who receive the fruits of obsequious ceremonies performed in the name of the ancestors and grant them noble status. They do not have any birth. A yogi visualizes the 6 yogic centers in his body as seasons of the year outside. There are 12 full moons and 12 new moons in a year. These 24 holy days are to be understood as the 24 steps of the Gayatri meter. Some people worship Narayana, who is the personification of time, as the Purusha, non-changing and non-manifest, all-pervasive consciousness of the year. This knowledge is called Dvadasa Sakshari Vidya. With one letter for each month, for 12 months, it becomes a mantra of 12 letters. Note that the following developments indicate an end of the epoch of Kali. Inundation of rivers and rivulets causing immense loss. The earth always shaking with tremors as if it is the pralaya. final dissolution, the sun and the moon deviating from their paths, a thick gloom enveloping the sun who becomes unseen during daytime. Horrible comets appearing in the sky portend the end of Kali Yuga. During the last phase of Dwapara Yuga, Kali Purusha, who is the chief of Kali Yuga, undertook fierce penance on an island in the Western Sea. All these matters were narrated by sage Veda Vyasa in his Bhavishya Purana about the future. Advent of the Mlechha race. On seeing the great prevalence of the Vedic mantras, sacrifices, and penances, Kalipurusha became very miserable. He prayed to God. Dharma is shining everywhere like a blazing fire. How can I spread the influence of Kali under these circumstances? I have to spread my Yuga Dharma according to the promise I made to you. It is becoming impossible for me. Then the Lord of the universe showed to Kali an island in the western sea. On that island, the Lord showed Kali, Adhama, a male who is the originator of the Mlechha race, non-Vedic or barbarian race, and Havyavati, a female. He created a beautiful garden for their enjoyment. In reality, they were brother and sister. Kali entered that garden as a serpent. He ignited immoral lust among them and encouraged them to beget illicit and unethical children. As soon as they were downfallen, the divine forces in them disappeared. From this couple, the Mlechha race started, which is the origin for Kali Dharma. In the last phase of the Dwapara Yuga, that is 2800 years prior to the end of Dwapara Yuga, the progeny of that race grew in numbers in the land of Mlechha. This was mentioned in Pratisarga Parva 2 of Bhavishya Purana. Adhama and Havyavati, who were created in Nilachala, tasted the fruit of sin and increased in numbers their offspring who abused Arya Dharma, who ate all sorts of things and who were unrighteous. I will have to incarnate as Kalki and destroy millions and millions of unethical people and establish Satya Yuga again. This is my program in the distant future. Then Dharmagupta said, Swami, I have a desire for many days to learn the story of Sri Vasavi Parameswari from you. Please tell me. Sri Charana charismatically smiled and said, the Kanyaka Purana. The Sri Kanyaka Purana is included in the Sanat Sujata Samhita of the Skanda Purana. Bruhat Shilanagar is also known as Jesta Shailam. There were 18 towns, namely Bruhatshilanagar, Niravadhyapuram, Viranarayanam, Vishalapuram, Asantamu, Narasapuram, Dhanadapuram, Dharmapuram, Pedda Jagannatham, Kalingampuram, Panchalapuram, Palakolanu, Pedda Trigunapuram, Bhimapuram, Gantashalam, Pitikapuram, Chinna Jagannatham, Chinna Trigunapuram. Kusumasresti was ruling these towns with Bruhatshilanagar as the capital. 18 is the victory number. In these 18 towns, there were Vaishyanagara Swamis belonging to 714 Gotras. Only 102 of them were naturally formed Gotras. There were strict rules imposed on these 102 Gotras. The people of other Gotras said that they would also follow those strict rules, and thus the Vaishyanagara Swamis were included, which resulted in the number of Gotras to be increased to 714. People who followed strict austerities and belonging to the 102 Gotras lived in Bruhatshilanagar. They worshipped Arya Mahadevi, that is Parvati Devi. They were called and revered as Arya Vaishyas for the reason that they migrated from Arya Varatham, worshipped Arya Mahadevi, and followed strict austerities different from other Vaishyas. The rest of the people belonging to other Gotras requested that they also be included in the Arya Vaishyas. Bhaskaracharya was regarded as the guru for Sri Kusuma Sresti. My grandfather Bapanavadhanalu was indeed Bhaskaracharya in his previous birth. On listening to the request made by the people of the other Gotras, Bhaskaracharya said, "My dear people, it is not possible to assess the value and come to a decision without testing the eligibility. To take the decision and confirm the eligibility, we all shall have an Agni Pariksha, test of fire. People who pass this test of fire will certainly be given the title Arya Vaishya. Else, this title will not be given. It is acceptable by all." Everyone agreed to this. In those days, Vaishyas used to devotedly worship Parameswari. Owing to their ardent devotion, some of the people offered their children to Parameshwari. Girls who were offered in this way were called Gaurabalikas. The boys were called Balanagaras. There was a strict rule that Gaurabalikas should only be married to Balanagaras. Bhaskaracharya used to give special diksha to the Gaurabalikas and Balanagaras, which was named as Chaitanya Kriya Yoga. Even in childhood, they used to be transformed into yoginis and yogis. Bhaskaracharya believed that children born to such people would be in a higher state and that their families would live happily with wealth and luck and would live like Gauri and Shankara. These 18 towns were the especially consecrated ones. Nagareshwara Mahadeva was the chief of these celestial towns, and Kusuma Sresti was the king ruling these towns. Bhaskaracharya's desire was to bring about a new type of creation into the nature through this approach. Since Kusuma Sresti couple had no children, Bhaskaracharya conducted the Putra Kamesti ritual. Arya Mahadevi manifested in the fire pit and granted two fruits to them. Consequently, during the first half month of Vaishaka, on a Dashami and Friday, when the Punarvasushtar was prevailing, Vasavi Kanyaka was born. A twin brother, a male child, was also born along with Vasavi Kanyaka. They named this male child as Virupaksha. Vasavi Kanyaka is in reality my divine sister. Virupaksha was born as her twin brother with the Amsa, partial avatar of Nandishvara. In the past, Shilada Maharshi, who was eating stones as food, went to the Himalayas. He had the darshan of Haimavati Mahadevi and prayed, "O mother, you are the daughter of the mountain. In a way, since I eat stones, I am also the son of a mountain. please grant me the blessing of being born as your brother? Sri Haimavati Devi said, Maharshi, I will marry Parameswara in this birth. You will be our vehicle as Nandishwara. In Kali Yuga, when I take birth as Kanyaka Parameswari, you will also be born as my twin brother. I am gifting you the stone on which I did penance. Take this stone to the town of Jeshtashalam. This stone should be placed in a pit and a fort should be built on it. In Kali Yuga, a good Vaishya named Kusumasresti will build this fort. Later on, I, along with the couples belonging to 102 Gotras, will go into the fireplace and will reach Kailash again. When the end of Kali Yuga comes, my brother Sripada Srivallabha will incarnate as Kalki and will slay millions of people of bad character and will establish Dharma. Sripada Srivallabha will leave his Yati form and manifest as Padmavati Venkateshwara Swami. Sri Padmavati will be born in the place called Sinhala, Sri Lanka. Sri Venkateshwara will be born in Shambhala village. Towards the end of Kali Yuga, their marriage will take place. Lord Sri Kalki will come to Bruhatshilanagar. I, in the form of Vasavi Kanyaka, and my Lord in the form of Nagareshwara, will invite Sripada Srivallabha, who will be in the Kalki form with great honors. As a token of love, I will tie Raksha Bandhan to my brother. With fondness and love towards me, my brother will give divine ornaments, diamonds and pearls and divine royal clothes and will very splendidly perform my marriage with Nagareshwara. Our divine marriage will be witnessed by the couples of the 102 Gotras who in the past entered the fireplace with me. Subsequently, we, the newly married couple, will go to Pitikapuram. That great Lord who will be in the Kalki form will amidst thousands of devotees give darshan in the form of his previous incarnation as Sripada Srivallabha. My dear Shilada, when my marriage takes place, both Lord Kalki and you will take part in the wedding festivities as my brothers. You will be thus blessed. Thus spoke Sri Haimavati Devi. My dears, the Gostani river is one boundary on the western side of this tributary kingdom with its capital as Bruhatshilanagar. Antarvedi, a village in Andhra Pradesh, is the boundary towards south. The Godavari river is its boundary on the east and north directions. There was a metallic hand and a hand bell that used for offering Mangala Arati in the house of Kusma Sresti. Both of them put together weighed more than 16 and a half visas. There was a metallic hand and a hand bell that used for giving Mangala Arati in the house of Bhaskaracharya. Both these two weigh more than 16 and one half visas. After my Mahasamsthan is established in the future, this metallic hand and the handbell, which are at present in Bhaskaracharya's house, will reach Pitikapuram and will be stored at my feet underneath the Audambara tree near my idol. Subsequent to their arrival there, my Charitamrutam will come to light. My dears, Tomorrow is the birthday of Sri Vasavi Kanyaka. In addition, it is Friday. As per the calculations in the Sandra Sindhu Veda, it is a highly sacred time. You should leave this place immediately. Build a small house with straw grass in a place called Panchadeva Parvatam. The things you require will arranged. Tomorrow I will hold darbar there. Women seeking the fortune of Mangalyam should certainly take the tuber of turmeric that will be distributed there. The fortune of Mangalyam will be granted to those who will receive the tuber of turmeric and place it on their puja altar. Tomorrow, I will describe the comprehensive story of Sri Kanyaka Parameswari. All my devotees who will come to Panchadeva Pahad tomorrow will be blessed to listen to the incidents of the most secret incarnation of Vasavi Kanyaka from me is the result of the merit earned in numerous births. From now onwards, on every Friday, I will hold Darbar. As per my convenience, it can be at Kurungadda or Panchadeva Pahad, any other place too. Every Thursday, Dharma will be taught. It can be at Kurungadda or Panchadeva Pahad. Many changes are going to come in the future. In the coming centuries, India will come under the rule of Mlechas and white people. The ways of fate are peculiar. It is only through the flow of spiritual power that liberation will be attained to this Karma Bhumi and Veda Bhumi. If Datta is not forgotten, Datta will not forget. Forgetfulness is similar to death. Remembrance will give new birth. Sripada Rajam Sharanam Prapadhye.